Well, good morning and welcome to Bill Ricardi's weekly Patreon update. I, of course, am Bill Ricardi, a creator and purveyor of fantasy novels. I do apologize that we're a day late, but we are not a dollar short. This week has been truly chaotic, and of course, Loki will reflect that chaos, that being his nature. So if you do hear meowing and scratching in the background, that would be Loki. Um, Without getting into the bizarreness that was my week, let's talk about the writing. The first thing we're going to talk about is the Cadence beta. That's coming to a close. Sadly, the beta readers who had started to get into that, a couple of them, it looks like, are not going to complete it by the end of the week, which is, today, basically. So, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to participate further. One of my beta readers I'm going to schedule a chat with this week, and then we're going to open it up to the superfans over at the fan club. We have a little subsection of superfans called the hosts. Those are the people interested in the Ehi saga, and after I go through and just make sure everything's germane, we're going to release it to them for a preview and review, and that's going to have to serve as the rest of the beta. Luckily, the folks who did do the beta, they have given it some pretty high marks, so we'll see how that goes. So that's the first thing that's going on, and that means I've got a working weekend, so I do apologize if I'm not as active on social media and things of that nature. The second thing that's going on is progress on book 2 of the Blackstaff siblings over in the world of Panos. It was kind of a half week for me there because I was doing some full day marketing efforts. It was a holiday week over here in the UK, etc., etc. But progress on that went fairly well. I think I did about 5,000 to 6,000 words on that, which is typical for 2.5 to 3 days. So we are on pace there. That should not be a problem. One of the problems is the book might be a little longer than I had hoped, so we might need an extra week in there. I'm hoping it's not as long as my projections say, because that would be ridiculous. But it is on pace to be one of the longer or the longest Panos book out there. What else is going on? My Foxy Boyfriend, the little magical realism romance that I have going on Wattpad, that has been going stellar. I mean, it's done now at about 40k words. The question is, am I going to go ahead and convert and query it? I've got a couple feelers out there with a couple of the romance presses that actually accept magical realism stuff, or I've been told accept magical realism stuff. I've also been told, maybe you should query this one. Now, querying for me, of course, has been a hit or miss proposition. What is undoubtedly my breakthrough book, Another Stupid Spell, was queried over 100 times. Rhythm was queried over 200 times. Not a single nibble. And this was going by kind of the standards of the industry. I can write a query at this point. I'm not bad at it. I've gotten help, both amateur and professional. I've gotten industry help on it, and not a single response that said we want the full copy. But of course, we know what happened with Another Stupid Trilogy. It went wide. I didn't go broad yet. That's the next thing we're gonna talk about. But it went fairly wide with the audience, and it got turned into an audiobook trilogy, and I made 5 figures plus off of that book. So I don't know what to say. Either I query badly, or I got on someone's list somewhere, or something happened. It doesn't really matter to me. But I'm willing. If there is a fantasy romance type agent out there who wants to take a shot at it, I'm certainly willing to submit it for query. That having been said, let's move on to the other thing that I just touched upon, which is we're going to talk a little bit about the process of querying and how that would affect things. If I were to query today and get a response, and this is not very likely, within 30 days, more than likely the agent would take another 4 to 6 months to find potential homes for it, and then another 4 to 6 months to find an actual home for it. So the entire project would be delayed about a year on average. But you never know; they could, strike lightning, right? And they could go out and just find someone right away, and make that match. So it's an iffy process, but it can add up to a year to the publishing date. The alternative option, going directly to the likes of a romance place, there's only a couple that are really going to consider the magical realism aspects of it that are big enough to make a splash. And I've queried the first, and the second is closed until September. Someone mentioned Tor as a possibility. I'll give Tor a shot. I don't really associate them with romance very much, but I maybe I'm just ignorant as far as that's concerned. So I'll check them out as well. But those, outside of those three publishers, it's a narrow scope as far as the publisher, but the audience is fairly broad. This is Studio Ghibli style, story. So it's going to see broad appeal if it gets printed. So we'll see what happens there. I think that's about it. Yeah, should be about it. The next thing on my to-do list is while I edit up Cadence, there's going to be an alarm that goes off that says go broad with another stupid demon. So that's the next step. I've already gone broad with another stupid spell and put it for free on all these outlets. Now I'm going to put another stupid demon for sale on all these outlets as soon as the subscription to the Amazon exclusive stuff expires. And that happens, I think, within a week or so. Also due today is I have an announcement. Give me just one moment while I pull up the announcement. According to my planner, the announcement is this. There is a fantasy giveaway over on what formerly used to be called Insta Freebie and is now called Prolific Works. The Prolific Works folks are great. They group together authors who have similar interests in giving away their book. And so Another Stupid Spell is going to be available on the I Put a Spell on You, and I'm going to put the link to that in the chat. Or I'm sorry, in the description. The I Put a Spell on You group giveaway, which is clearly all about magic and what have you. So guess what I'm putting in there? Of course, Another Stupid Spell will be in there. So anyone who hasn't picked it up can pick it up on that giveaway, as well as all sorts of goodies from other authors who are in the genre, who are up and coming and want to get the word out about their books. So I'll put that link into chat, and hopefully we will, as a group, do very, very well. That's about it for me, folks. Have a great day and a great weekend, and I do apologize for being a day late. If I told you the entire story, it would take another hour, so we're not going there. But we're back on schedule for a Friday update next week, and I hope everyone's feeling great and has a wonderful and safe weekend.